has been said that the moments in life that are truly worth living are those that take your breath away. The world of art provides such moments when, on experiencing the ineffable beauty of a sculpture, a painting, a piece of music or performance, or even in the fluid blends of these forms, one is left breathless. If you suddenly came upon two figures nestling close together, carved into a fallen tree trunk on a snowy winter day, or saw a fetus curled up in a tree hollow, wouldn't you too stop short and gasp in wonder at the spirit that resides therein? Such is the work of Sanna Karlsson-Sutisna, renowned for surprising the quotidian, humdrum world by bringing art face to face with it through her combinations of sculpture and dance. Sanna Karlsson-Sutisna's performances resonate with archetypal myths and rituals across cultures. Our intention is to surprise, to extend the meanings of common objects and make art in symbiosis with nature and the environment. Academic training in painting, performance and audiovisual media, and also mural painting, plus a master's degree in fine arts from the Finnish Art Academy, laid the foundation for Ms. Sutisna's forays into the art world in the 90s. An abiding passion for dance led her across the world, learning Balinese, Cuban, jazz, Afro, Buto, and ballet dance forms, as well as the making of ritual masks in different cultures, in striving to reach out to the world and its people to communicate without words. For her, art is a channel for caring, it is a cure, and it is a way of nurturing our emotional and mental capacities. Through this creative vision, her significant works and performances have emerged. Thus, she may be seen pirouetting daintily in a frothy ballet dress, holding aloft an electric saw as she carves out the spirits enshrined in tree trunks, or enacting ancient Balinese rituals for fire sculpting. Her solo exhibitions of paintings, installations, and performance art have been held at over 30 venues in Finland, Germany, Denmark, Russia, Sweden, Austria, Poland, England, Indonesia, etc. Even more numerous are the group exhibitions that she has participated in from the 80s to the present day, again across lands and cultures. So, Ms. Sutisna's art practice is also imbued with a relentless quest for an increasingly deep unity with nature and to address the problems of rootlessness that engender vandalism and violence. She says, "A well-planned environment radiating comfort is known to promote roots. So why not create a harmonious environment? If children who are caring by nature grow up in such milieus, they learn to cherish the environment, even at a tender age." Her quest has resulted in the creation of the Flower of Life Children's Art Park, where an endearingly sculpted doggy waits to be tickled, colored glass frames set the stage for hide and seek, angels watch over swings, and shiny metal balls in wooden totem poles encourage children to touch, to hear, to perceive the world differently, and to make art their home. A change from Donald Duck and Barbie dolls, certainly, and perhaps a lesson for us too. We are honored by your presence here, ma'am, and look forward to your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Avtarjeet Dhanjal, for inviting me here. I'm so glad and happy. And also to all organizers and even Amanda, who take very well care and organize all this great happening. And thank you to all you audience coming here. And I apologize, English is not my mother tongue, so I hope you understand what I'm talking. But let's put on the show, and I will first show you shortly what I did until 2007. because I also made a book of my creations, and at the same time I will tell you the base of my work. So as child, I grew up in a family. My father is architect and painter, and my mother children psychologist, and she was the head leader of creating the system, new learning system for children under 7 years. And she also loved dance, and she was teaching us dance. So in early age, my father was teaching me to draw and to draw human figures, perspective, and I loved to dance. As I was 4, I followed Zorba's music. And also our family was helping other people coming to Finland who had war in their countries. So I was used to multicultural environment. As well, my grandmother was actually Austrian, and she came as child with her parents to Finland before the war to construct brass instrument, because there was no knowledge of that in Finland. So when I was around 10, I felt I have to do something important in my life. And but when I was 11, I decided, I knew that I will do art. That is my road in my life. And I started to practice every day, to draw, and I started to do oil paintings with my father, going out to the nature, even in the winter, painting their impressionistic landscapes. And when I was 12, I found some article about yoga philosophy, and I started to follow this yoga philosophy. And when I was 16, my idol was Mahatma Gandhi, because he was behind his words. He tried to realize, to make true what he was thinking about life, and trying to work for everybody, even the poor people. And I was thinking, for art, for me, the most important thing is, was, to create something that would nourish and help people in their everyday life, to support them, to struggle, to go through all the struggles that the life gives you. And also for me, it's important for first to be a good person for other people, and also for myself, and to keep this in balance. And secondly comes the art. So these principles I try also to, I think you can see in my works. So I'm both visual artist and dancer, and you can see in these pictures that was going across some different kind of art forms that I'm doing. So we can go to the performance, public art. Because what is very important for me, to work together with the nature, and also different cultures, to find the roots of art that is actually in the rituals. And there you can find the healing aspect of art, which is my very big interest. And I wanted to bring the art not only for museums, galleries, or stages, but directed to everyday life, to everybody, even to people who never were interested in arts. And 2010, 1993, I got the chance to be a leader for Finland to organize art for very young children under 3 years old. That was an EU project. So one of them was my idea to make an art park in Helsinki, and that's called Flower of Life. And here you see some picture of it. I will show you later more pictures. And let's take the next step, sculptures. So you can see in the left side, I did sculptures directly in the nature to be permanently there, and I call them ecological sculptures also, and small sculptures and installations in the nature or in museums. Then we go to paintings. Here you can see a variation of paintings through that time, and then we go to performances. Here you can see I created different kind of performances. One is nature-related performances with this black and white dress, and then I have painting dance that I created as final work in the Art Academy, 1989, and then I have Balinese dance combined with other performance forms. Okay, now I will show you a slideshow shortly, quickly, about all these different kind of styles and works I've been working on. And here's the art park for children. The pyramid was for baby, new life, not for pharaoh. And here are the children, they can play with the items. This is, and here's the swing. You have a beautiful view. And this is the artworks in the nature. The message from the past passing through the fire of today. And here we have the small sculptures, faces like masks. That because I learned wood carving in Bali, and I use Balinese tools when I was learning to do the masks in Bali. And these are the products, the first products I did with those tools. And also I use a lot my own life experiences in my works, because I think I'm part of the world, and we have everywhere in all different countries similar experiences, similar troubles. So I want to share my own life experience through my work and find a good solution, or find the power to struggle through the difficulties and give this energy to people, same energy to the power. And nature is, for me, very powerful healing element. In Finland, we live rather close to nature. However, I myself even living in the capital, but we have a lot of nature around us, and we often go to countryside, to the nature. Also, I visited so many different cultures, new things to bring for Finnish people, because Finnish culture is a bit depressive culture, and when I was young I felt we need to bring some happiness. And I could see in other cultures like Afro-Cuban culture, Balinese culture, had so much more happiness and smiling and laughing people than in Finland. So I went there to study also the culture and the dances, to bring it to Finland for Finnish people. And here you see the dance painting that I created as final work in the Art Academy. So I studied in dance, or I was studying visual art daytime and evenings in the dance. First I decided to study the Western dance styles, jazz dance, contemporary dance, ballet, and then to go over to my real love, what is the dances that are connected to the energies, the spirit and the root energy. So then I studied African dance, Afro-Cuban dance, Balinese temple dance, and so on. And here you see, now we come to the Balinese dance section that I also used to make some performances for children under 3 years old with visual elements and actor. I used my painting as background for the shows. And here I'm dancing different Balinese dances and combining it with other culture in the street. So this is a multicultural and Balinese dance performance with a ritualistic context. This is still the art park. You can show the next picture also. And when I'm restoring this, because I need to restore always the surface every second or third year, and people passing me and saying how important it is for them and for their children, and they come there every time to see this work. This is from the Kalevala Maiden, the Finnish ethos story, how the earth was constructed. And these forms I made so that the children can climb and feel with their body the forms, and in the end they will see the figure that is a person, the Kalevala Maiden. Next picture. So you see it's in a beautiful environment and with the buildings back. And the next one. Here this work is a big plate, 120 centimeter. Give the next picture. And it's in France. We made also an art park for children in France. Flower of Life number 2. And here we have my work in metro station in the railway station in Helsinki, in the capital. And I try to make a bit similar images than as if it would be wood, but this is concrete because you cannot put any burning material in the metro. You put the next picture, and I took a model from people using metro. I wanted to have the people who use metro in these sculptures. And here I have in museum my sculptures that I did in wood trunks. This is the power of youth, and this is the growth. And this is the lying figure. Yes, just go forward. So the idea is the nature is still living together with me and sculpturing the work. So it comes, the cracks are coming, and it's part of the work. Yeah, just go forward. These were works that were in the Nordic Biennale in St. Petersburg in Russia. Just go forward. And this is Hildegard von Bingen, honoring her, creating the first medical book of the herbs, and she was the first nun who created the first nun cloister in Germany. And here are some smaller works that also were in the art park for the children, so I also make them as items to be seen in gallery. And here we have the installation of the tree trunks, and it's like a forest, but also it is telling about the human life, and somehow also about my family. That is in the back. I did a drawing. You can show the next picture. This is my son who is wondering about his hair, because I was married with Afro-Cuban dancer choreographer, and my children are mixed, and he was wondering his hair in this age. And you can show next picture, because he looks different than other Finnish people, and he was like identifying himself through the hair. And I have another son also, which is here in the side, and that was my second husband from Indonesia, Bali. And so we really lived in different cultures. And myself, I have also curly hair, and that's not so normal in Finland. Normally, the most of people have straight hair. So this is a work where our different kind of hairs, different cultures, different backgrounds comes together. Like, for example, my first son, whose father is Afro-Cuban, his grandparents were slaves. They were brought to Cuba as slaves, and so on. So it's a lot of things that comes with you. You carry the past of your ancestors with you. And here, when my boys got older, they start to be critical about their hairs, and they wanted to look like everybody, and they cut their hairs, and they were thinking again in a different way about themselves, and they were more critical about themselves and afraid of what other people will say, and maybe be racist to them. And here's from some exhibition. You can just see the setup of my works and sizing of my work. Just go ahead. And here is also, you can see the same sculpture indoors, what was outdoors before in the other show. So I'm experimenting indoors, outdoors, in different spaces. The works get very different meanings accordingly where they are placed and how they are placed. This is a 2-meter big painting, and here I have some Ganesha in the left side rolling the life of the wheel, and a woman lying up there wondering and maybe a bit nervous about the life and future. How is it going? Next picture. And here I show 3 paintings from Ahmedabad, because I was invited there for a show and workshop, painting workshop, and I did 3 paintings from India. And they are these 3, and it was the impressions I got from the street. And here's more recent painting. These 3 meters high, and I'm using here the like color that is floating in the background with the water. Is a rather time-taking technique, and this work is was a little girl. And here is same technique. This is also over 3 meter high in the universe. And next, and also I did paintings for young people in the hospital who were in the psychological department, who had like mental problems, big problems in their lives. And this is a painting with the bear, who is very dangerous, but the children have the courage to meet the bear and in a friendly environment. It's like a symbol for them to meet the dark side of their lives and get further to a more positive life. And here is a paintings area of winter and moose animals and the time, space. The painting here is called The Frozen Heart, and it symbolizes also how the animals, they always use the same path through the life, through the history, and how the time is passing, thousands of years, and the animals are running and using the same road, and this person's heart is frozen that long time. And this is the journey of the animals. They often follow the same path. And next one. And this is the awakening, the springtime. Springtime coming. And now you see here the ecological sculptures. So they really get molded by the nature. You can give the next picture. Here you see it in the beginning. Just go further. And this is you can see how it changed with time. This sculpture, you just go further and further. With snow, it looks different. And also I make in the urban environment, I bring the tree and I'm sculpturing there in front of the people. Just give the next picture. And and it's very important for the people. They come to tell me that it's so important for them to see when I'm working and how my work is going further, developing. Just go further. Here are some examples of the last works. And I also place the sculpture in water. Just go further. This is the child who has no parents. The sea is the mother of this newborn child. And here you see some of my performance. They are sometimes also like installations. And you can go further. It depends on the space I'm using. This is a library, and I use toilet papers. In the beginning, I throw them down. Next picture. And here's some other dance performance in Africa recently. And here we stop for a while. This sculpture, I started to work with the chainsaw ballerina performance, first as ballerina and then using chainsaw, dancing with chainsaw, and then sculpturing this. is in the park, and people surprisingly meet this sculpture. And from this may be my most famous sculpture, because even people send me letters that how important this sculpture has been for them. For example, some women wrote me that she lost her baby, and this sculpture is really giving her energy and power to go over her sorrow, and I should take very well care of this sculpture. So I'm very sure of that. People really need art in their lives, and I'm also working art politically in Finland to support the art and get the politicians to support the art. Thank you very much.